This looks so dark and devilish. I see a dead floating.
Roan just got banned from performing at a major festival in Rio by the mayor because she reportedly made an 11-year-old girl cry who happened to be the daughter of a very famous soccer player.
You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it.
Chappell Roan seriously needs to log off, pack a bag, and disappear to a quiet farm somewhere, because the way she's been moving online is pure chaos. Ever since she popped up in the spotlight, it's been drama after drama, and now people are saying she's beefing with literal kids, which is wild to even hear. Folks aren't just side-eyeing her anymore. They're flat out calling her behavior reckless, messy, and way too extra for someone who's supposed to be a superstar. Things got so loud that Wendy Williams, yes, that Wendy, suddenly popped back into the conversation to drop her opinion, and she did not hold back at all. She basically roasted Chappell from top to bottom and even started talking about rumors that Chappell is tied to some kind of dark secret group, throwing gasoline on conspiracy theories that have been floating around for years. People online are now acting like this is proof of Illuminati talk, even though nobody really knows what's true, but the timing made everything explode. What made it worse is that Wendy jumped in right when Chappell was already getting dragged non-stop across social media, so it felt like a pile-on instead of just commentary. If you've opened any app lately, you've probably seen clips, posts, or angry threads about the situation involving an 11-year-old girl connected to actor Jude Law. The story spread fast because it sounded unbelievable. A huge celebrity tangled up in drama with a child at a hotel breakfast, of all places. Here's what people say went down. Chappell was eating at a luxury hotel in São Paulo, Brazil, minding her business at a fancy breakfast spot. At the same time, Ada, Jude Law's daughter, was there with her mom, Catherine Harding, and her stepdad, football star George Ello, also having breakfast nearby. Same room, same morning, just two tables living completely different lives until everything collided in the most awkward way possible. Ada was reportedly a big fan, or at least she used to be, and she simply walked past Chappell's table to smile and double-check if it was really her. No screaming, no phone in her face, no autograph request, nothing wild at all. But the calm moment didn't stay calm because right after Ada returned to her seat, security guards allegedly rushed over like something serious had happened, raising their voices and accusing the child of being disrespectful, which shocked everyone at the table. The poor girl got scared and started crying, which only made the situation look worse to onlookers. Her mother stepped in immediately, confronting the guard and demanding answers, and only then did Chappell reportedly react to the chaos happening right in front of her. Afterward, George released a public statement blasting the incident as unacceptable, and Catherine posted her own video, visibly upset and not holding back her feelings either. They made it clear they weren't brushing this off quietly. Then came the biggest twist of all. The mayor of São Paulo reportedly issued a statement saying Chappell would not be welcome back in the city during his time in office. That move turned an already viral scandal into an international headline overnight, with people debating whether it was justified or way over the top. Either way, the whole situation spiraled fast, and now Chappell's name is trending for all the wrong reasons, with opinions flying from every direction.
First of all, what commands are you giving your security guards? Because I think the people want to know. 2, do you know that little girl is 11 years old carrying around a Chanel bag? That means her parents are very rich. My third question for Chappell is, have you met the Brazilians of Twitter? Have you met them? Because when they got banned, they immediately went rabid, which means they don't have time to mess around. Girl, a Chanel bag. I'm still stuck on not the little princess with a bag, honey. Also, do you know the mayor just banned you? Do you know that? Are you, hello? And shout out to Pop Crave, because you can read the statement from the mayor. It is translated, but he essentially said that as long as he's mayor, you'll never see that city again. Because at first I thought the internet was treating you very harshly because you're like a new celeb and individuals don't really know their placement when it comes to paparazzi and fans and yada, yada, yada. But this one, if true, allegedly, this story takes the cake. And if you guys haven't figured out what the story is, let me just give you a quick rundown. So she's performing at Lollapalooza, and apparently, allegedly, according to the stepfather, I forgot this detail. Her daddy is Jude Law. Her daddy, okay? The individual who told the story happens to be her stepfather. Now, the stepdaddy said that, according to his wife, his daughter thought that she had seen Chappell Roan at breakfast at a hotel and secretly walked up to her and smiled to see hey, is that really Chappell Roan? When his stepdaughter saw that she saw Chappell Roan, she smiled and tiptoed back to her mother at breakfast. That was it. Apparently, while the daughter and mother were having breakfast, after her daughter was like, oh my gosh, Mom, I really do think that I saw Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan's security guard walks over to the little girl and the mother and basically berates them and says that he can have them kicked out of the hotel. And now here's where we are. So I don't know. Chappell Roan hasn't said anything yet. If she does, I'm going to keep y'all posted because they are dragging her for filth on Twitter. And this tweet says it all. Somebody by the name of Sierra said, I told y'all about Raggedy Ann.
Whew, and here's the part that really made people's jaws hit the floor. Chappell didn't come out looking apologetic at all, not even a little bit. While folks online were expecting some kind of my bad moment, or at least a quiet step back from the spotlight, she did the complete opposite and doubled down in the loudest way possible. Instead of laying low after the breakfast blow-up, she popped up on one of the biggest stages in the world like nothing even happened. Just hours after the whole hotel fiasco started trending, Chappell walked out at Lollapalooza in front of a massive crowd, lights blazing, cameras rolling, fans screaming, the full superstar treatment. People watching the live stream were already whispering, wondering if she would address the situation or maybe try to smooth things over. But what they got instead sent social media into absolute meltdown mode. Right in the middle of her set, she suddenly stopped and started shouting out her security team like they were heroes in an action movie. No careful wording, no soft tone, just loud praise blasted through the speakers for tens of thousands of people to hear. The crowd cheered because they had no clue what had happened earlier, but online viewers immediately clocked it and started posting clips within seconds. To them, it felt less like gratitude and more like she was proudly standing by the same behavior that had people upset in the first place. Comment sections exploded with reactions ranging from shock to straight-up anger. Some fans said it looked like she was brushing off the whole incident, while others argued she was just supporting her staff and didn't mean anything deeper. Still, the timing could not have been worse. It was literally the same day the story broke, so emotions were already running hot. Every frame of that moment got dissected, slowed down, replayed, and turned into viral posts with captions calling her tone-deaf and out of touch. What really fueled the fire was her body language, smiling, energized, hyping up the crowd like it was a victory lap instead of a damage control situation. Critics said it came across as defiant, almost like she was saying she did nothing wrong at all. Supporters pushed back, saying performers often thank their crews and that people were reading too much into it. But once the internet picks a narrative, it spreads like wildfire, and this one spread fast. Memes started popping up within minutes, reaction videos flooded TikTok, and commentators jumped in with hot takes, each one louder than the last. Some called it a PR disaster, others labeled it fearless confidence, and a few said it was simply a celebrity refusing to be bullied by public opinion. Either way, the moment became bigger than the performance itself, overshadowing the music completely. By the end of the night, clips of that shout-out were everywhere. News pages, fan accounts, gossip channels, even people who didn't follow Chappell suddenly knew her name because of this one moment. Instead of calming the storm, it poured gasoline on it, turning a single incident into a full-blown controversy that just wouldn't cool down. And just like that, what should have been a triumphant festival appearance became another chapter in the drama swirling around her non-stop.
Thank you. And thank you to my crew and my security and my band.
It wasn't until the next day, after the clips had already gone viral, the outrage was boiling, and her name was trending everywhere, that Chappell finally showed up online with a response. And even then, people immediately felt something was off. She posted an Instagram video that looked more like damage control than genuine remorse, with a calm tone and careful wording that didn't exactly scream "I'm sorry" to viewers who were expecting accountability. In the video, she talked slowly, thanked fans for concern, and said the situation had been misunderstood, which only made people roll their eyes harder. Instead of directly apologizing to the family involved, she kept things vague, talking about how stressful fame can be and how security teams sometimes have to act quickly. To many listeners, it sounded like she was explaining the incident away rather than owning what happened. Then came the part that really set social media on fire. She started putting the blame squarely on her security staff. According to her version, they acted on their own because they believed she was being approached in a threatening way, and she claimed she didn't realize what was happening until it was already over. That explanation might have worked if not for one tiny detail people refused to forget. Just hours after the incident, she had publicly praised that same security team on a giant festival stage, like they were champions. So now viewers were asking the obvious question: if they acted so badly, why celebrate them in front of thousands of people? The contradiction hit hard, and clips of both moments started circulating side by side, making the situation look even messier than before. Commentators, influencers, and everyday users all jumped in with their takes. Some said she was throwing her own staff under the bus to save face, while others argued she was simply clarifying events after learning more details overnight. But the lack of a clear, direct apology kept people suspicious, especially since the video focused more on her feelings than on the child who was reportedly frightened during the encounter. Body language experts even started analyzing the clip, pointing out her expressions, pauses, and tone as defensive rather than remorseful. Whether that's fair or not, it added another layer of drama, turning a short Instagram post into a full-blown public relations nightmare. Meanwhile, supporters flooded her comments with heart emojis and messages of encouragement, insisting she was being unfairly targeted. Critics, however, weren't buying it at all. They demanded a real apology, accountability, and some sign that she understood why people were upset in the first place. Instead, the response felt polished, controlled, and distant, the kind of statement that checks boxes without actually calming anyone down. By the end of the day, the response had done the opposite of what it was supposed to do. Rather than closing the chapter, it reopened the wound and poured fresh drama all over it, keeping her name locked at the top of trending lists. What could have been a quick clarification turned into yet another viral moment, proving that in the age of the internet, how you respond can matter just as much as what happened in the first place.
I'm just going to tell my half of the story of what happened today with a mother and child who were involved with a security guard who is not my personal security. I didn't even see a woman and a child. Like, no one came up to me. No one bothered me. Like, I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that, like, a security guard I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me. They weren't doing anything. It's unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no reason to believe because there's no action even taken. Like, I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
Now, here's the thing. This situation didn't come out of nowhere. Long before the hotel drama, Chappell was already dealing with whispers about having a diva attitude and acting like she was above everyone else. Stories had been floating around about difficult interactions, icy vibes, and moments where fans felt brushed off or shut down. None of it had fully exploded before, but the rumors were definitely simmering under the surface, waiting for one big spark to set everything off. So when this incident happened, a lot of people didn't see it as an isolated mistake. They saw it as confirmation of what they already suspected. To them, this wasn't shocking behavior. It was just the latest chapter in a pattern they believed had been building for a while. That's why the backlash hit extra hard, because once a reputation starts forming, every new controversy sticks like glue. Of course, not everyone was piling on. Some fans rushed to defend her, arguing that she was simply protecting her personal space and setting boundaries, which celebrities absolutely have the right to do. They pointed out how overwhelming fame can be, and how constant attention might make anyone anxious or guarded. On the surface, that argument sounded reasonable, and for a moment it gave supporters something solid to stand on. But critics quickly pushed back, saying this situation didn't actually look like a boundary issue at all. According to reports, there was no crowd, no aggressive behavior, no phones shoved in her face, just a quiet moment in a hotel restaurant that spiraled out of control. That difference mattered, because setting boundaries usually involves communicating limits, not escalating a calm situation into chaos. What makes it even more complicated is that Chappell has spoken up about boundaries before, and back then, many people agreed with her. She had called out invasive behavior from strangers and paparazzi, explaining how exhausting it can be to never get a moment of normal life. Fans rallied behind her at the time because her frustration felt relatable and grounded in real experiences. This time, though, even some longtime supporters admitted the reaction seemed way over the top. Instead of protecting her peace, it looked, at least to critics, like unnecessary force being used in a situation that didn't call for it. That shift is what caused some fans to step back and rethink their support, which is never a good sign for a public figure. Others took a harsher stance, saying being a celebrity comes with attention as part of the job, especially when you're in public spaces. They argued that while nobody deserves harassment, brief recognition from fans is almost unavoidable when you choose a life in the spotlight. To them, the real question wasn't about boundaries. It was about whether someone who dislikes public attention that much should stay in such a visible career. Meanwhile, supporters insisted that fame shouldn't cancel out a person's right to feel safe or left alone, keeping the debate going in endless circles online. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds, with one side calling her misunderstood and the other calling her entitled. The truth probably sits somewhere in the riddle, but the internet rarely does nuance. What's undeniable is that this incident didn't just create new criticism, it amplified everything that had been whispered before, turning quiet rumors into loud accusations overnight. Whether fair or not, the damage to her public image was immediate and intense, proving how fast perception can shift when controversy hits at full speed.
By the father on his Instagram, he really wanted to expose her. The daughter was so excited to see Chappell that she made signs to show Chappell her love. And when they all went to breakfast that morning preparing for the festival, they realized they were staying in the same exact hotel as her and they saw her eating at breakfast. The daughter wasn't sure it was Chappell, so she got up from her seat and walked past Chappell's table, happened to show a smile when she realized that it was actually Chappell, and then went back to her seat with her family. She did not engage with Chappell at all. The father called Chappell's reaction completely disproportionate in his post, saying a large security guard from Chappell came over to their table while they were still having breakfast and began speaking in an extremely aggressive manner to both my wife and my daughter, and scolded them by saying that they shouldn't allow their daughter to disrespect or harass other people. Then he said that the security guard told him that they will be filing a complaint against the whole family to the hotel, and that his daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot. The mayor of Rio de Janeiro banned Chappell from ever performing at Todo Mundo no Rio, which is a massive festival that she could be paid millions of dollars for, and said that Jorginho's little girl, his daughter, is already going to be the guest of honor at the festival in May. The father finished off by saying, "It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of their fans. At the end of the day, they are the ones who build all of this. No one should have to go through this, especially not a child. At Chappell Roan, without your fans, you would be nothing. And to the fans, she does not deserve your affection." I literally just said this exact thing is going to happen with Chappell. A young fan, probably a little girl who sees themselves in Chappell, is going to get burned, and it's going to look extremely bad on Chappell. I really like what Chappell's doing with setting boundaries, but I feel like she's overcorrecting past celebrity treatment, and she's not leaving room for human nature. No one sees her as a tortured artist because an 11-year-old walked past her table.
And since people keep bringing up this whole "she's just setting boundaries" argument, let's really unpack that for a second, because somewhere along the line, the conversation shifted from self-protection affection to straight-up irritation. What started as fans defending her need for space has, for many observers, turned into a pattern of behavior that feels less like healthy limits and more like constant hostility. At least that's how critics are framing it, and they've been pulling receipts to back up their claims. One clip that refuses to die online comes from last year's LA Fashion Week, where Chappell walked the red carpet surrounded by cameras, stylists, handlers, and flashing lights everywhere. It should have been a glamorous, controlled moment, the kind celebrities train for, but instead it turned awkward fast. In the video, she suddenly snaps at her assistant in full view of photographers, her tone sharp and impatient, cutting through the noise like a record scratch. What made the moment so uncomfortable wasn't just the outburst, it was the assistant's reaction. You can literally see the confusion wash over her face, like she's trying to figure out what she did wrong in real time. She wasn't crowding Chappell, not blocking cameras, not causing a scene. She appeared to be doing exactly what assistants are hired to do: manage logistics and keep things running smoothly. Viewers who analyzed the clip frame by frame pointed out how quickly the energy shifted from glamorous to tense. One second, it looked like a typical red carpet pose. The next, it felt like everyone nearby was holding their breath. Even photographers reportedly went quiet for a beat, unsure whether to keep snapping or pretend nothing happened. Supporters later argued that high-pressure events can be overwhelming and that miscommunications happen all the time in chaotic environments. They suggested Chappell might have been stressed, overstimulated, or worried about timing, which can make anyone sound harsher than intended. In that interpretation, it was an unfortunate moment, not evidence of a deeper problem. Critics, however, weren't buying that explanation at all. They said the power imbalance made the situation look especially bad. A famous star publicly scolding someone who couldn't exactly talk back without risking their job. To them, it felt less like stress and more like unnecessary humiliation played out in front of flashing cameras. The clip spread like wildfire across social media, racking up millions of views and spawning countless reaction videos. Commenters debated whether it showed a diva meltdown or just a brief lapse in patience, but either way, it added fuel to the growing narrative that Chappell can be difficult behind the scenes. And once a label like that sticks, every past moment gets re-examined through the same lens. What really amplified the backlash was how relatable the assistant's expression looked. That stunned, what just happened face people make when they're blindsided at work. Suddenly, viewers weren't just watching celebrity drama, they were projecting their own experiences onto the situation, which made emotions run even hotter. Whether the moment was truly unfair or simply misunderstood, it became another example critics point to when arguing that this isn't just about boundaries anymore. To them, it suggests a pattern of tense interactions rather than isolated incidents, which is why every new controversy seems to hit harder than the last. And in the court of public opinion, perception can be louder than any official explanation, especially when viral videos keep replaying the same uncomfortable scene.
Multiple instances where Chappell Roan has pushed her staffers, as a new viral video of her doing so has shocked fans. Wait till the end to see what she had to say about this. Now, as you know, Chappell Roan is known for calling out paparazzi, being a little confrontational, all in the vein of self-respect though, and I really do respect it most of the time. But yesterday, this video of Chappell Roan rudely pushing one of her staffers at the 2025 LA Fashion Awards shocked fans, with comments saying like, she's the most rude, entitled, mean celebrity, comments saying we made the wrong person famous, how could she do this? Other fans saying I can't keep defending you, Chappell, and the woman's face who was pushed says it all. I mean, she wasn't doing anything wrong, she was just minding her own business. And there's another video of Chappell Roan rudely ripping away a costume from one of her wardrobe team's hands because he's taking too long to fix her wardrobe malfunction.
But somehow, the situation didn't just stop at celebrity drama, it spiraled into full conspiracy territory. After the incident with Ada, internet detectives went into overdrive, digging through old interviews, photos, performances, and posts like they were trying to solve a mystery. And that's when some corners of the internet started pushing a much darker theory, claiming her alleged hostility toward kids must be tied to some kind of secret Illuminati contract, which sounds wild just saying it out loud. Now, to be clear, these are online speculations, not proven facts. But that didn't stop the rumor mill from spinning at lightning speed. supporters of the theory insisted they had receipts, pointing to symbolic imagery, cryptic performances, and things certain commentators, including Wendy Williams, have hinted about over the years. Once those clips started circulating again, people who already distrusted celebrity culture leaned all the way in, saying this was the missing puzzle piece. Longtime followers know this isn't the first time Chappell's name has been dragged into Illuminati talk either. Those rumors have been floating around for years, popping up every time she releases something bold, controversial, or visually dark. For some observers, her artistic choices are just theatrical branding, but for others, they see hidden meanings everywhere. Colors, symbols, choreography, even stage outfits get analyzed like coded messages. What really fueled the speculation is the stark contrast people claim to see between her earlier image and her current one. Before moving to Los Angeles, she reportedly presented herself in a much more low-key, traditional way, simpler fashion, softer visuals, and a completely different public vibe. Old photos and clips from that era started resurfacing, with captions like, "Look how different she was before fame," which only intensified the narrative that something major changed after she entered the industry spotlight. Critics of the conspiracy theory say that kind of transformation is extremely common in entertainment. Artists reinvent themselves all the time to stand out, reach new audiences, or match evolving trends. Moving to a major industry hub like LA often comes with new stylists, creative teams, and marketing strategies. So a dramatic image shift doesn't automatically mean anything sinister. It can simply be career strategy. Still, believers point to statements she's made about her family worrying about her move to LA, interpreting those concerns in the most ominous way possible. According to that interpretation, warnings about the harsh realities of the industry somehow morphed into claims about selling your soul, a phrase that gets thrown around a lot when discussing fame, pressure, and compromise. Skeptics argue it's metaphorical. Believers insist it's literal. Wendy Williams' comments added gasoline to the fire because her reputation for blunt takes makes everything sound extra explosive. When she revisits old rumors or asks provocative questions, clips spread instantly, giving the impression that hidden truths are finally being exposed. Whether she's speculating, joking, or speaking seriously often gets lost once snippets start circulating without full context. At the end of the day, what started as backlash over one incident snowballed into a swirl of theories, accusations, and deep dives into Chappell's entire past. The internet has a way of turning uncertainty into certainty if enough people repeat the same idea loudly enough. And once conspiracy talk enters the chat, the conversation rarely goes back to normal. It just gets louder, stranger, and way more dramatic with every repost and reaction video that keeps the story alive.
That blew up to now 7.5 million views is Pink Pony Club, where she sings about leaving her hometown to go live in LA, where girls and boys can be queens every single day, and how she knows her mother is going to scream, "God, what have you done? You're a pink pony girl," and closes out the video showcasing a giant party with strippers and people of the LG community. Hence her mother screaming, "God, what have you done?" Because Chappell Roan was raised in a Christian household
that was taking us to church 3 times a week. I just did not feel like I belonged. So necessary to forgive my past and my community for just disagreeing.
And is now choosing to turn from Christianity and live a lifestyle opposite of the Bible. And I personally don't think it's a coincidence that this was her breakout song that got her her rise to fame.
She once opened up about her upbringing, describing a childhood that revolved heavily around church, routine, and strict expectations. According to her, attending services wasn't just an occasional thing, it was constant, sometimes multiple times a week, shaping nearly every part of daily life. For some families, that kind of structure feels comforting, but for her, she suggested it created a quiet sense of pressure, like she had to fit into a mold that never quite matched who she felt she was inside. Growing up in that environment, she explained, came with a strong sense of community, but also a clear set of rules about how to dress, act, speak, and believe. Everyone around her seemed certain about their place and their path, while she felt like she was standing slightly outside the circle, watching rather than fully belonging.
releases a song called Naked in Manhattan, which features lyrics about her being in a relationship with another woman, where she states, "Put your lips on mine, could go to hell, but will probably be fine." Shortly follows up with another song titled My Kink is Karma, where the opening scene is her shadow while she is wearing devil horns. And the following scene, a picture frame with a photo of Jesus. Proceeding with the rest of the video where she is dressed as a devil. Shortly after that, she posts a new music video to her song Casual, which is all about her in a sexual relationship with a girl that doesn't want to be in an open relationship with her. In the video, she features a girl who looks like a demon. And I wouldn't be surprised at this point when people call this art, because it's also considered art to blaspheme Jesus.
That feeling of being different didn't explode into rebellion. It simmered slowly, turning into confusion and distance over time. She hinted that trying to meet those expectations left her emotionally drained, as if she was performing a version of herself that pleased others but didn't feel authentic. When you're young, that kind of disconnect can be hard to name, so it often comes out as restlessness, frustration, or the sense that something is off without knowing exactly what. She suggested that no one was intentionally hurting her. It was more about not feeling seen or understood. As she got older, that inner tension reportedly pushed her to question everything she had been taught, which can be scary when your entire support system is tied to those beliefs. Doubt can feel lonely, especially if you worry that expressing it might disappoint people you love. She described carrying that conflict quietly, trying to respect her background while also searching for her own identity. Eventually, she spoke about reaching a point where she needed distance to figure out who she was outside of those expectations. That doesn't necessarily mean rejecting everything from the past. Sometimes it's about redefining your relationship to it. She framed it less as anger and more as a complicated mix of gratitude, hurt, and the desire to move forward on her own terms. One of the most striking parts of her reflection was her emphasis on forgiveness, not just toward others, but toward herself too. Letting go of resentment, she suggested, was necessary if she wanted to heal and stop feeling trapped by old conflicts. Forgiveness in this context didn't mean pretending nothing happened. It meant choosing not to carry the weight forever. She also acknowledged that disagreements with family or community don't automatically erase love, even when they create distance. That nuance often gets lost when stories are reduced to headlines or viral clips, but real life is messier than that. People can care about each other deeply and still struggle to understand one another, especially across differences in values or experiences. In the end, her story paints a picture of someone trying to reconcile where she came from with who she has become, a process that can be painful, liberating, and confusing all at once. Whether listeners relate to her journey or not, the emotional core is familiar to many people who have ever felt caught between loyalty to their roots and the pull to define their own path. And that tension, unresolved and deeply human, continues to shape how she tells her story today.
With the Kardashian Christmas card.
Yes. Okay, so every year, as you guys know, the Kardashians come out with a brand new Christmas card, and this year is no exception. There it is in all its Vegas destruction and glory. And it is a beautiful photo in a way. I mean, it's very dramatic, but
It's Christmas. This looks so dark and devilish. I see a dead baby floating. Now, where is Kanye in this picture?
Kanye is not, he's not on the show, first of all. And so he's not in the card. He opted out. But if you look really closely, I spy with my little eye a Kanye West on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Is that a Jesus wreath around his head?
Well, that's the cover that David LaChapelle shot of him on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Look at the two young girls. I mean, they look very pretty, but this is supposed to be Christmas. And you know what? What's the deal with the Illuminati triangle and the eyeball looking at it?
Right. A lot of people are looking into this. I mean, the Illuminati, it's that secret society that supposedly runs the world. There have been accusations that Kanye's part of it. It signifies with the eye and the triangle. I think that's looking a little too deep.
I don't. This is disgusting. Happy holidays, devil.
To some viewers, the dark or shocking imagery in her music doesn't feel random at all. They believe it looks deliberate, almost like a statement rather than just a style choice. Supporters say it's theatrical and edgy art, but critics argue it comes across as a pointed rejection of her religious upbringing, as if she's trying to distance herself as loudly as possible from where she started. That interpretation has fueled endless debates online, with every new video or performance dissected frame by frame for hidden meaning. In those discussions, people often point to the contrast between her earlier image and her current one, saying the shift feels too dramatic to be purely aesthetic. They describe it as going from modest and reserved to bold, provocative, and intentionally controversial almost overnight. Of course, reinvention is practically a job requirement in pop culture, but skeptics insist this transformation carries an extra layer of symbolism they can't ignore. This is where conspiracy-minded corners of the internet take things even further, claiming the imagery is tied to secret industry expectations, or so-called contracts. There's no verified evidence for that claim, but it spreads because it taps into long-standing fears about fame changing people in extreme ways. Once that narrative takes hold, every success starts to look suspicious to those already convinced something hidden is going on. What really keeps the conversation alive is the timing people point to. According to critics, her biggest commercial breakthrough happened after she leaned fully into the darker, more provocative aesthetic. To them, that sequence feels meaningful, as if the shift unlocked mainstream attention that her earlier style never achieved. Supporters counter that controversy naturally generates buzz, and buzz translates into streams, headlines, and ticket sales, which is a far simpler explanation. Still, pattern spotting is something humans are wired to do, especially online, where information spreads fast and context spreads slowly. People start lining up examples from other artists who also change their image before hitting peak fame, building a narrative that the industry rewards shock value above all else. Whether that pattern is real or selective memory depends on who you ask, but the debate itself refuses to die down. Some commentators argue that audiences today are drawn to bold visuals because they cut through the noise of endless content. In a crowded market, subtlety can get overlooked, while dramatic imagery grabs attention instantly. From that perspective, the transformation isn't sinister. It's strategic branding in an era where visibility is everything. Others remain deeply skeptical, saying it's too convenient that so many careers seem to explode right after a drastic rebrand. They frame it as a trade-off: abandon the old image, embrace something shocking, and watch the spotlight intensify. Again, there's no concrete proof behind that belief, but once people see a pattern, it becomes emotionally convincing, whether or not it's factually sound. At the center of all this noise is a simple truth. Her evolution has people talking non-stop, and in entertainment, attention is currency. Whether fans see bold artistic freedom or critics see calculated rebellion, the result is the same: massive visibility and endless conversation. And in the fast-moving world of pop culture, staying at the center of the conversation can be just as powerful as any chart position or award, which is why debates like this keep roaring long after the music stops playing.
That's with you because you were blackballed in Hollywood for not playing the game. What is that game out there?
Well, we're both in it. And when people ask me what is the game that's in the game, we both know what that is.
Well, let's go back to The Precious, because that's the role for which you won your Oscar.
Now, when it comes to Wendy weighing in on Chappell, things get extra spicy, because Wendy has never exactly been known for sugarcoating her opinions. According to chatter from people who claim to be familiar with behind-the-scenes conversations, she supposedly hasn't been a supporter of Chappell since day one. Whether that's personal taste or something deeper is up for debate, but the story circulating online is that Wendy believes she spotted red flags long before the recent drama ever exploded. These unnamed sources claim Wendy views Chappell's transformation and behavior as part of a bigger pattern, interpreting it through her own lens of how fame works in the entertainment world. Some say she's convinced the drastic image shift and provocative branding weren't accidental, but strategic, or even symbolic, which lines up with the kinds of bold theories Wendy has entertained on air before. Of course, none of this is confirmed, but once a narrative like that starts moving, it spreads fast. Another claim making the rounds is that Wendy thinks Chappell's strained relationship with critics and some fans is connected to that transformation. Supporters of this idea argue that when artists change dramatically, longtime followers can feel alienated, which sometimes leads to tension on both sides. Skeptics, however, say it's just the normal growing pains of fame, not evidence of anything mysterious. Some commentators also point out that controversy itself often boosts visibility. When headlines, debates, and viral clips flood the internet, more people become curious enough to check out the music, even if they weren't fans before. From a marketing standpoint, attention, good or bad, can translate into streams, ticket sales, and brand power, which is why scandals so often coincide with spikes in popularity. What makes Wendy's involvement particularly explosive is her history of making blunt, headline-grabbing statements about celebrities. She built her reputation on saying what others wouldn't say out loud, which means even casual remarks can sound like bombshell revelations when clipped and shared online. Once her name enters a story, it tends to amplify everything, turning speculation into full-blown trending topics overnight. People also remember that she has previously criticized other high-profile figures using similarly dramatic language, especially when discussing fame, influence, and power in Hollywood. Years ago, she publicly questioned certain celebrity families and their meteoric rise, suggesting there might be more going on behind the scenes than meets the eye. Whether viewers saw that as entertainment, opinion, or serious commentary depended entirely on their perspective. Because of that track record, her comments about Chappell, direct or indirect, carry extra weight with audiences who already expect bold takes from her. Supporters cheer her for telling it like it is, while critics argue she sometimes fuels rumors without hard evidence. Either way, she knows how to command attention, and attention is exactly what this situation has in massive supply. At the end of the day, Wendy's voice adds another dramatic layer to an already chaotic story. Instead of calming the waters, her involvement has energized both sides, those who believe there's something deeper going on and those who think it's all exaggerated gossip. And when a media personality famous for stirring conversations steps into an act of controversy, the volume rarely goes down. It just gets louder, sharper, and impossible to ignore. Now here's where the story takes another sharp turn into mystery territory, because nobody really knows how Wendy would supposedly have insider knowledge about any of this. Still, that hasn't stopped the rumor mill from working overtime, with some people online claiming she must have been connected to powerful industry circles herself at some point. There's zero confirmed proof behind that idea, but speculation spreads fast when it involves someone as outspoken and well-known as Wendy. One particularly dramatic claim floating around is that her health struggles began after she allegedly distanced herself from certain influential figures. Supporters of that theory treat the timing as suspicious, while others point out that serious health issues can happen for many reasons and shouldn't automatically be turned into conspiracy material. Even so, once a narrative like that catches attention, it tends to grow legs and run across every platform imaginable. Fuel was added to the fire when an older interview clip resurfaced and suddenly went viral again. In the video, Wendy is speaking with comedian Monique about her long-standing claims of being unfairly pushed out of major Hollywood opportunities. The conversation starts out tense but controlled, with both women clearly aware they're discussing sensitive territory in front of a huge audience. Then things take a dramatic turn when Monique directly suggests that powerful forces within the industry played a role in her career struggles, and even implies that Wendy herself might understand those forces better than she lets on. The atmosphere in the clip shifts instantly, going from heated debate to something noticeably more uncomfortable. Viewers analyzing the footage say you can practically feel the tension through the screen. According to people sharing the clip, Wendy quickly pivots away from that line of discussion, steering the conversation toward a safer topic instead of pressing further. Supporters and Monique interpret that move as revealing, suggesting Wendy didn't want to go deeper for a reason. Critics counter that talk show hosts redirect conversations all the time to keep interviews on track or avoid legal and reputational risks. What makes the moment so replayable is how abrupt the transition appears when isolated from the full interview. Short clips strip away context, making normal broadcasting decisions look suspicious or dramatic, depending on the viewer's expectations. Once that edited version started circulating, captions and commentary did the rest, framing the exchange as a shocking caught-on-camera moment. Others argue the entire situation says more about the power of viral editing than about hidden secrets. A few seconds of hesitation or redirection can be turned into proof of almost anything once dramatic music, bold captions, and slow-motion replays enter the picture. In the age of social media, perception often outruns reality at lightning speed. Regardless of what actually happened, the resurfaced clip poured fresh gasoline on ongoing debates about Hollywood influence, media narratives, and who controls the spotlight. Supporters of both women rallied behind their favorite, dissecting every facial expression and word choice like investigators building a case. In the end, the interview moment has become less about what was truly said and more about what people believe it represents. For some, it's evidence of hidden dynamics in the entertainment world. For others, it's simply a tense exchange blown out of proportion by the internet's appetite for drama. Either way, once a clip like that goes viral again, it takes on a life of its own, keeping speculation alive long after the original conversation ended. Did you see how quickly Wendy shut that conversation when things got uncomfortable? A lot of viewers definitely noticed, and the moment has been replayed non-stop with people trying to read between the lines. Some are convinced that her reaction means she knows far more about the darker side of the entertainment world than she lets on, while others say it was simply a host steering the interview away from risky territory. Either way, the clip lit up social media like a fireworks show. There are also rumors swirling that Wendy's health struggles are somehow connected to stepping back from powerful industry circles, though there's no solid proof to back that up. Still, speculation loves a vacuum, and when answers aren't clear, people fill in the blanks with their own theories. So now that she's speaking critically about Chappell, some viewers are treating it like insider confirmation, even though it could just as easily be personal opinion. As always, the internet wasted no time sharing hot takes, and the comment sections turned into a battlefield overnight. One person wrote that regardless of everything else, Chappell should have at least apologized to the young girl involved and acknowledged that the situation got out of hand. To them, the lack of a clear apology felt dismissive and unnecessarily cold, especially considering how frightened the child reportedly was during the incident. Another commenter took a different angle entirely, saying they had discovered Chappell's music recently without knowing any of the drama and were blown away by her voice. They expressed disappointment after learning about the controversy, framing her talent as something precious that shouldn't be overshadowed by conflict or negativity. It's a reminder that public scandals don't just affect critics, they also hit fans who feel torn between admiration and concern. Others were far harsher, arguing that fame may have gone to her head, and that constant praise can sometimes distort how celebrities see everyday interactions. Supporters pushed back, saying outsiders can't fully understand the pressure of living under nonstop scrutiny, and that mistakes can look bigger when cameras are always nearby. The divide shows just how polarized public opinion has become. Of course, the most extreme claims, like talk of soul selling or secret deals, remain firmly in the realm of speculation, not evidence. Some people treat those ideas as metaphor for sacrificing privacy and normal life for fame, while others take them literally, which keeps the debate spinning in circles with no clear resolution. In reality, the truth is likely far less dramatic than the loudest voices suggest, but quieter explanations rarely go viral. What's undeniable is that this story has captured attention from every angle: celebrity culture, fan expectations, media influence, and the speed at which narratives form online. One incident, a few viral clips, and suddenly millions of people feel like they're part of the jury deliberating a stranger's character. So now the conversation has shifted from what happened to what do you think it means? And everyone seems to have an answer. Whether you see a misunderstood artist, a cautionary tale about fame, or simply a messy situation blown out of proportion, the debate itself has become the main event. And if there's one thing the internet loves more than a scandal, it's arguing about it long after the facts stop changing.